Hey guys.
Welcome to Winter Sunday. We're here. I'm sure you guys knew that we were not going to let this one slide.
Yeah.
It's Sunday. New Wintersun video, new Wintersun song. It's Winter Sunday, folks.
It's Winter Sunday.
Remember? It's been what? 3 years?
I feel like we have
4 years?
I feel like our following has been growing so much to the point where I feel like the people who remember Winter Sunday
don't watch our videos anymore.
Mostly.
I think so too. And the people watching this video are like, what the fuck are these two douchebags talking about?
We had a thing.
We had a thing. Back in the day, we had a thing. Every Sunday, we would check out a different Wintersun song. That lasted like a couple of months. And now we're back. And the name of the song is Warning. Now, Warning, this is only 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
And it's an instrumental.
And it's an instrumental track. So this is pretty much Yari jamming in his pajamas.
Yeah.
So
let's just listen to it.
Before we jump into conclusions, and before we pass judgment, which is kind of what we're here to do.
This could be the best 2 minutes of...
Nobody's ever said that.
Exactly.
Nobody's ever said that. So before we pass judgment or jump into conclusions, let's listen to this carefully for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and then we'll say our piece. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the song is gonna start now. I'm parched with this song.
It was like a very long riff.
I'm parched.
A very long riff.
So this is.
It was dry.
5 years it took to get here. All right.
Fuck, I feel like this is like the Shenmue game.
So.
You know Shenmue?
No, but I want to concentrate. I honestly want to focus on this.
Why? There's not much to focus on. It was 2 minutes. I'm gonna say my thing. This reminds me of the Shenmue game. You don't know, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Shenmue came out for the Dreamcast a long time ago. The last one to come out was early 2000s. The newest one came out 2-3 years ago, right? And everyone who played Shenmue was waiting because they were thinking the new game you were finally gonna beat the guy who messed with your father or whatever the fuck, right? But no, you didn't even get to land a hit on him in the final battle. He dodges every single attack, and then you're left with, oh, maybe I'll avenge my father in the next game, which will probably come out in 50 years because it took so long for this one to come out. That's the same feeling I have for this thing. It took so long, and yet I'm still waiting for the next one. I feel like my wait wasn't quenched. My wait of all these years was not quenched. I feel like I'm still waiting. This was like a buffer.
This is a this feels like an intro to an actual song that's going to start like after that.
Exactly. Which, if that's the case, then that's smart, but kind of not. Because like, if for example, let's say, fuck, now I'm wondering when the song will come out. But I'm saying, like, let's say a year from now, Wintersun posts Warning again, but it's not 2 minutes. It's like 10 minutes.
No.
And this is the intro to the
but
song.
He said this is a song.
This is just a full-on song.
Yeah, but to me it sounded and felt like
an intro
to a song. That's what it feels like. Just saying.
Doesn't mean. I mean, listen. One positive is that it was pleasant to listen to. I enjoyed it.
I think it had too many orchestrations. In all honesty.
But the thing is, it was enjoyable to listen to, but
too many synths, too many orchestrations, dude. Seriously.
For me, where's Wintersun?
But we said this before. Wintersun is Yachty.
Yeah, but dude, this song is a very,
loose term.
But was it good was it nice to listen to? Yeah, but it would be nice to listen to if I didn't know if it was Wintersun. Because the problem is, for me,
this is like the jingle that we have at the start of our videos. It's just that the jingle at the start of our videos is 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And this is 2 minutes, but it's pretty much if I had the jingle on loop.
Yeah.
This is a jingle. This is an intro to a song. This is not a song. But it's an intro to a song. I mean, you can call it a song, but it's...
But this is an intro to a song where...
If you're going to do... Listen, let me just say it. If you're going to do a 2-minute song that's instrumental, it has to be way more technical than what this was.
Of course.
That's first off. It has to be way more technical. It has to be way more complex. It has to be about the guitar playing. Now you're just chugging.
Yeah.
Now you're just chugging. You're just chugging a riff. That's all you're doing. You're chugging a riff. It has to be more technical, not chugging a riff. And why all the orchestrations? Why all the synths? Why all the orchestrations?
Because without that, then it's literally just chugging the riff.
But it's still chugging the riff with orchestrations.
But it's chugging the riff. But yeah, he put a bow tie on a pig. Like, it was a pig before, but now
it's a pig after.
But now it's a pretty pig. Now it's Peppa Pig. So, but what I'm saying is, this intro, if it was an intro to a song, it would intro to something more Wintersun, because in my opinion,
this is not very Wintersun.
It's not very Wintersun-like at all. The orchestra is that main part that it's not very Wintersun-like. Everything felt too dark to be Wintersun.
But even the guitar sound doesn't sound like Wintersun.
No, it doesn't sound like Wintersun. It sounds like trying to be Nightwish. Like, it's not Wintersun.
No, you're off on that one.
What do you mean, dude? It's chugging very orchestral. It's trying to be Nightwish. It's not Nightwish. It's trying to be.
No, it's not even there.
I don't know what you're not seeing. But what I'm seeing is that the riff itself, if you were going to give me something called Wintersun, if at least the riff, let it be wintry and sunny and winter sunny. Like, let it have the DNA. There was barely any DNA of Wintersun. Almost none DNA of Wintersun.
Well, Yari was in the video playing guitar.
And I saw his smile. You see his...
But there's not much you can do with 2 minutes.
So then don't make it 2 minutes.
I know, but maybe it doesn't have anything else.
What do you mean? There's not much you can do with 2 minutes because he didn't have
the only way this works, and I'll say it again. As an intro,
but not even
of an album, an intro of an album that then leads into a song that becomes something bigger, and a lot of bands do that. A lot of bands they cut the intro off of the main song, and when you're looking at the track listing, there's the intro and then there's the song. But when you listen to the album together, the two kind of go hand in hand. One is the extension of the other. The only way this works, the only way this is going to be on a Wintersun record, is if this is an interlude in the middle of the album that connects with the next track or opens up the record as the intro to a next track. There's no way this is going to be sitting on an album on its own like a fucking island, not connecting with anything that comes after. It just doesn't sound like Wintersun. It doesn't sound like Wintersun for what you would expect from an instrumental song. It doesn't really deliver.
No.
It doesn't really deliver, because if you're going to create an instrumental song, it has to have more. An instrumental song has to be more intricate. It has to have more parts.
It can't be 2 minutes.
It has to have more parts. You can't just be chugging a riff for 2 minutes and call it a song. You know what I mean? So it has to have more. So the only way I'm going to reserve judgment for not, well, actually I'm not because I already judged.
You've already given judgment.
But anyways, the only way I can see this working is in the format that I'm saying.
But
as an intro
like you said, it's just
to an album that then matches into a song that builds up from it.
Okay, so maybe it could be that.
Or as an interlude in the middle of the record that then builds up to another song that kind of goes off from it. But either way, it has to build up to something that comes afterwards that's much bigger than this.
Listen, Yachty's a smart person, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and maybe that's the case. If that's not the case, come on, dude. 5 years, and this is not something you can give the fans and expect positive outcome.
But there's no.
And even if this was the start of an album, why the fuck would you post this? No one posts the intro as a first single and hides it
or
as
a teaser.
Or a teaser. No one does that. No one.
But when was the last time Yachty did something that other people are doing?
That's true. He's very.
He does his own thing. He's a mad genius. He does kind of his own thing. But I feel
like this one he dropped the ball on it.
They've dropped the ball on many other things too in the past. You know what I mean? I could sit here all day and go one by one. I just feel like we're at this point in time, nothing short of a masterpiece of a record is gonna appease the fan base.
It has to be better than. It has to be like.
Because the problem with the fan base is when you set the bar, nobody set the bar for you. You set the bar for yourself, and you create the expectations. Not only you're setting the bar, you're creating expectations that what's coming is going to be great, and the reason why it's taking time, no pun intended, is because it's going to be great.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in a no-fail situation. Anything less than great, and I don't mean great by somebody's standards. I mean great by everybody's standards.
It has to be Olympus level, like godly
Zeus
record.
Like if Zeus recorded a record, it had to be like that. So you're putting yourself in a position almost to fail. That's what you're doing. You're putting yourself in a position to fail. And I honestly feel like it doesn't matter what they do unless that record comes out and that record is that kind of a record. Anything less than that, it's not going to appease the masses. And it's not going to appease the masses. And I actually feel like the fan base overall, through time, once again, no pun intended, will start to dwindle. It will start to dwindle. We're living in a society where everything has to be quick. Nobody has the attention span to wait for a band for 10 years to release a record or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you have a massive following like your Tool or something. You have a massive following, then it's a different story. But even then, when you put out something, if it doesn't match the expectations of that long wait, guess what? There's another band releasing a record the next day, and people just switch to whatever their next band is. And that's just the way the game is played these days. And I feel like there's some people that are artists that want to create something, and they've created something. And Yachty is one of those people. He's created something. The problem when you create something and you put it out there, then it becomes also part of those people out there that consume your art. And he's a little bit, I feel like he tries to be on his own, independent in terms of, this is my art, I'm going to take the time that it takes. Like, that's his philosophy and that's his state of mind. And I can respect that. But at the end of the day, if you're just doing art for yourself, is one thing. And I think eventually he might end up doing just that. Because there will be no audience for his art. Because everybody will just tune him out. And it's a shame if that's going to be the case. But I think we could probably be walking towards that.
We're watching history unfold. Wintersun slowly imploding like a star. Like
a supernova.
Like a supernova.
Well, that would be a great name for the album.
No, because then people are going to be like, what the fuck, we waited for time 2, and you're not going to give us time 2? Like,
I honestly think, like for example, the updates. Time 2, 90% done. Second album, 30% done. Why are you working on 10 different albums at the same time?
If you can't even finish one and
that's like you're building a house. So you start with the foundation of the house. And then you're like, you know what? I also want to build a boat. And then you start building a boat at the same time. And you know what? I want to build a car. Then you start building a car at the same time.
I was gonna say,
Then 10 years go by, you don't have a house, you don't have a boat, and you don't have a car. And everything is 80%, 70%, 60%.
I was going to say, that's kind of like how, I remember one time, this is what clicked. One time I was doing some work for school, and I did 3 different projects, but I did them each step by step at the same time. But then I realized when I was 50% done each of them, I'm like, technically I could have been done one of them in a half, and you know, done more with my time, and still had one already handed in, so I only could work on 2. Not have to work on all 3.
No, not only that, but then you can concentrate, because what you're doing is you're dividing your concentration across multiple platforms.
You should be
But if you're focusing on one, then you can put your full energy and effort into that one in order to make that one great, versus spreading yourself really thin, because that's exactly what's happening. And like I said, I honestly feel like at this point, there's no releasing this. Actually, I think it creates more negative buzz than positive buzz. And the people that feel already turned off by everything, this is going to turn them even more off.
Oh yeah, listen, because since we love Yachty and we love Winter, like this is not gonna, this phases me, but it's not gonna phase me to not ever listen to them again. But some people are probably so fed up that they're like, listen, am I a joke to you? Am I some type of joke to you? And then they're gonna just leave. Like 5 years, an EP at least. You don't have to make time 2 right away. An EP at least, because.
No, but dude, it's not even that. Okay,
no, but
it's not even that.
But I'm
some
saying,
bands go 6 years without releasing an album. That's not, for me. That's not even the issue.
But it's the way he's been hyping it.
Exactly.
If he didn't hype it, then it's fine.
If you release music in your own like, nobody's gonna be looking at just whatever band out there. Like, you can Guns N' Roses, Metallica, whatever. Throw out any band out there. They could go 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years without a new record. Like Rage Against the Machine, when was the last time they released a record, right? Is anybody going on Rage Against the Machine Facebook page saying, what the fuck, dudes? It's been 10 years since the last record.
They're not hyping anything up.
No, they're not. Whenever there's a new album, if there isn't even a new album, then it'll come out. And people will either like it or they don't. The problem here is not the 5 years.
It's the fact that he hyped it up.
The problem here is the continuous updates, hype. I wouldn't say empty promises, but innuendos of what could be, what could happen, what could have come, what am I doing and not doing. To me, all of that creates unnecessary noise.
Yeah.
Unnecessary noise. It creates unnecessary expectations. And then people come back and they want those expectations met and delivered. If he had released the first album like he did, then he released Time 1. Then he does the 4 seasons. And he doesn't say anything. Like, I'm releasing the 4 seasons because he released that as part of the crowd surfing campaign that he did to build their own studio, blah, 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 blah.
Bro, that studio is like dusty.
Yeah, what is happening with that? Anyways, so anyhow, all of that stuff, you have all of that stuff, but then, continue down that road. There's no need to talk about this or that or this or that.
No need. Just do what you do. Don't have to update.
And you don't have to explain anything to anybody.
Because you don't owe anyone an explanation.
No, but that's the problem.
But now you do.
But now you do. Because once you start explaining things, and say, I'm releasing this way because I'm planning on doing this that way. I'm doing the crowd surfing this way, and it's going to be part of the one campaign, because it was supposed to be a second campaign. That never came after either. So everything, it's kind of like, oh, I'm doing this because this is going to happen. And then that doesn't happen, people are going to come in and collect. So the whole problem is that Wintersun is him. And Wintersun, more than a reflection of who he is as an artist, is a reflection of who he is as a person. And when you're when you are an artist, when you are deep connected with the art that you create, you're not necessarily the greatest salesman. Look at how their Patreon failed. You're not necessarily the greatest spokesperson for yourself. He should have never be the guy posting on Wintersun Facebook. He should have somebody who takes care of all of that shit for him. You know what I mean? Because he's really hurting his own image. He's putting himself out there and taking bullets unnecessarily. Unnecessarily. You know what I mean? And I think this is a result of somebody who created the band. Wintersun has always been Yachty. He created the band. But it's also a person that didn't have the necessary vision to see that what I've created kind of grew legs and started walking. And now it's becoming a little bit bigger than maybe what I even hoped and dreamed of. And now it's not just mine anymore. Now it kind of belongs to the world out there.
He's still treating it as his.
He's still treating it as is. He's still treating it almost as a solo thing, as an artist. He's treating Wintersun almost as an indie band. Do you know what I mean? And an indie project.
Isn't
and it's
Wintersun
not.
signed to... Like, who's... Wintersun?
Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
They were. I don't know if they still are.
I was about to say, like, why... Like, when you sign a record deal, don't they tell you, like, hey, you know, you need to make this certain amount of...
I know, but he already told them I do whenever I want to do. But...
Don't expect the contract negotiations to go that well.
All I'm saying is that, to me, this whole Wintersun saga could have been completely avoided, could have been completely dealt with in a different manner.
If he wasn't doing the updates. That...
And if he didn't set expectations from the get-go.
If he didn't set expectations, the updates...
Listen, dude, you go on any band's Facebook page. You go on Metallica's Facebook page.
They're never saying...
James Hetfield is not posting that he's 50% finish on the next record with 60% finish of the next record. And then, you know... No, even when they're doing a campaign...
the most you'll get is we're in the studio.
Lars Ulrich didn't go on fucking TikTok and say, hey, buy our VIP package for $7,000. No, they have marketing people that handle that kind of shit, that take those bullets, that post on Facebook, that ran the Facebook and the Twitters, and that kind of shit. Not the artists themselves. You should be secluded from the noise of the world. Yachty, in my opinion, Yachty shouldn't even know how many people are on his Facebook fan group. Nothing. He should be just doing what he loves doing, which is creating art, creating music.
Because then when you take those bullets, it alters what you're thinking, and then it's going to make him take even more time.
No, because also
shit.
he's not a marketing guy. He doesn't know, with all honesty, he doesn't know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. You have to, the world of Time One when that was released, and the world now is two different worlds. And different people, and the way you consume music, and the way you do all of this shit. So what I'm saying to you is, he should have somebody that takes care of all the external shit, and all he has to concentrate is doing the music. But forget about these constant updates, or not constant, but any updates whatsoever. But now that ship has sailed. Like, you can't bring that shit back. That's out there now. There's nothing you can do about it now. Now you got to deal with it. But what you're dealing with now is the expectations. The bar is extremely high, and it wasn't the fans that said it. Was he that said it? And now you're almost putting yourself in a position to fail. I'm sorry to say, but this is the truth. This is the truth. And without new music, there's no tours. There's no festival shows. There's no nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why band members are going and playing elsewhere.
Exactly.
Anyhow, I love Yachty.
I love Yachty too.
I love Yachty. I love Wintersun. Still one of my favorite bands. But just because I love somebody, and this is kind of an intervention. Just because I love somebody doesn't mean I can't say what I see. Because he's a great mind, he's a great artist, but I think he lost a little bit sight of what he's trying to create. And if that's not the case, if he's like, no, this is my baby and I want to talk to people, okay, fine, but then deal with the consequences that comes from it.
And those consequences will be when the album comes out, even if it's a smash hit and it's beautiful, who's going to listen to it? Because some people are going to already be gone with the band. That's the thing.
I think they've lost a lot of fans already.
They've already lost a lot of fans to the point where even if the next album is the next greatest album of all time,
I believe...
I feel like they've lost too many people to the point where it'll be appreciated by the people who are still there.
I honestly believe that if after that first crowdfunding, the season's release, if he said nothing, I'm doing this crowdfunding for this, blah blah blah, there might be a second crowdfunding, and that was that. He could have then released an update saying yes or no, there will be a second crowdfunding, whatever. But that's it. And if he hadn't said anything, there's nothing. No noise, no nothing, no expectations,
We wouldn't be
no
in this
nothing.
situation.
Nobody would be talking about anything. Suddenly, he releases an album, or a song, or whatever.
Doesn't
or a
matter
riff.
how good it is.
People are gonna be excited
People are
about
gonna be
it.
excited, yeah.
Fuck.
Haven't heard from them in so long.
It's
and
so
now-
long, but now, no, that's not the case anymore because of all these expectations that have been built up. It's not the case anymore. And here we are with 2 minutes of a guitar chug.
Dude, in this time, you could have made at least an EP.
Here you go again, but it's not about that.
No, but it is about that, dude. If he didn't make any noise, right?
You're looking at the problem from this point of view. I have a leak in the ceiling. Why do I have such a small bucket? I could have had a bigger bucket. No, the problem is you shouldn't have the leak to begin with.
No, but
Fix the
I'm
fucking leak.
saying, what I'm saying is, the EP. I'm not saying the EP would have fixed the situation. I'm saying
The EP would be pretty much time 2 because time 1, the time 2 is the continuation. He didn't release the full album at that time. He divided the album into 2, so just release time 2. But it's 80% done with 70% of something else done. And
But that's the problem. I'm saying if he didn't do the updates and did it the way you said and left it off, if you wanted to, okay, it's so many years without releasing. Even though I haven't said anything, I want to give the fans a little bit something before I'm ready to put time 2 out there. And instead of this, like it's like not even an EP, like 2 singles, 2 whatever the fuck. They have nothing like a Bismarck type thing where it's not on the album. It's just a song out there. Something to keep the fans thinking that you're not fully gone, that you're still there, right? Because you can't just leave for so many years and not do anything.
I think you can do it for 3, 4, 5
It's
years.
been too long. In my opinion,
it's only been too long because of the expectations.
But if the expectations weren't there, I would still say, where the hell is he? It's been so long. Like, there's no updates on what he's doing.
Anyways, this is a fucking long video for a 2-minute song, but it shows you how passionate we are about Wintersun. That's all it does. I don't know. I think really interesting is going to be 2 things. How many people are going to download this song from Bandcamp? So because that's a marker. If only 100 people download this song, holy shit! Like that's a problem.
You can download this song, dude.
And then the second thing is how many views is the video getting on YouTube?
Oh, probably a lot because people don't know yet. But then when there's not going to be, I feel like the video will have views and then negative comments. But I think the Bandcamp, no.
Okay.
Nothing.
It'll be interesting to see if we're never going to find out that information, anyways. But anyhow, and this was your Winter Sunday, a long one for that.
A long Winter Sunday.
A long Winter Sunday.
Overdue Winter Sunday.
We'll see you at the next one.
See ya.